Well, Dan, obviously no surprise. Urban Meyer and the players seemed demoralized after a loss like that. But a lot of similarities that we saw to the loss at Iowa. To me, the big difference is it happens a couple weeks earlier in the season, where in the loss last year, they really didn't have enough time to rebound. Do you feel like this is a team that has the mental toughness, the time, able to maybe put this in the distant future and get beyond this as the rest of the season goes on?
I think they can, but there's a lot of major issues that they got to work on right now. I mean, we saw tonight all of their issues caught up with them. Their inability to run the ball, their inability to score efficiently in the red zone, their big plays they've allowed on defense, the penalties that they've had. All of those things added up on top of one another tonight, and they just never recovered. They just never got out of the hole that they fell into early. It felt a lot like that game last year at Iowa, and now the good news is Ohio State has a bye week, so they've got 2 weeks before their next game to work out all their issues. But they've got a lot of issues to work on, and if they don't get significantly better in all those areas I just talked about, this team's not going to be accomplishing the things that people want them to accomplish this year.
You mentioned all those things, and all of them are important. It was interesting to hear Urban Meyer say that to him the biggest thing is the red zone offense and not being able to convert those into touchdowns. We've seen the short yardage problems that they've had all year long. What is it that you see that they can do differently when they get down there, when they're in those short yardage situations, to be able to convert those into touchdowns?
They've got to figure out something, and I think first and foremost, they've just got to figure out a way to run the ball, to be able to get in a defense's face and move the ball on them, because that's just something that they haven't been able to do this year. Their run game has declined every single week, and we saw tonight, Dwayne Haskins, he broke the single-game passing yards record. He broke the single-game pass completions record at Ohio State, threw for a ton of yards, but that just wasn't enough tonight, because when you go to the red zone 4 times and you score 6 points in those 4 trips to the red zone, that's simply unacceptable, and that made the difference in tonight's game.
On the other side of the ball, the defense has given up so many big plays throughout the year, yet they've been able to hold teams to not many points. Obviously, today in the fourth quarter sort of got away from them. Was this just a defense that finally got exposed for what they are, or was just a blip that you feel like maybe the rest of the season they put it behind them?
Yeah, I mean, this defense has struggled all year. The big plays, we saw 3 40-plus yard touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's been an issue all year, giving up a big play. So I don't see it as a blip. I see it as something that's been an issue and that needs to get fixed. But really, if you look at it tonight, as much as you see the 49 points and that stands out, it really wasn't so much that the defense played bad as they just every phase of a game played bad, that nobody executed as well as they needed to tonight in every single phase of a game. Even Dwayne Haskins in a record-setting night wasn't as sharp as he had been in Ohio State's previous games. They've just got to play better going forward to avoid having something like this happening again.
It's a really short trip home for the Buckeyes, given the distance, but it's going to feel like a really long trip home as they head back to Columbus tonight.